a lot of these games and the emotion involved, and certainly the last two prior to tonight. So just happy to get through the game. Glad we got separation. I thought we got the ball inside the Bashir well, in the second half when it was, still within striking range for them, and he did a good job of scoring and getting fouled. But we got to still do better at the turnovers, man. We just can't turn the ball over like this, and they're not really pressuring us and trying to turn us over. So, this should be a game where we are like under 10 for sure. So that's something that's been a pattern that we have to like kind of correct and fix.
I think that you think that your press sparked something in the first half.
That worked out fine. We haven't worked on that a ton, but the way they were moving and cutting and dragging us through possessions, it enabled us to kind of speed the game up a little bit and steal a couple of possessions. So I thought we did a good job with that when we went to it.
Is Austin Nunez hurt?
Yeah, Austin has ankle slash, Achilles, and it's so we're he didn't think he could go. We practiced yesterday. He couldn't go today, so we'll reevaluate him. You'll see the docs tonight and tomorrow, and we'll know more tomorrow.
Coach, Jaden Quinton's had a season-high 13 points, 14 rebounds. How impressed were you by his performance?
I'm happy that Ace in the first half found him a couple of times. Just he's got to find a way to get him some easy baskets, and he hit a three. So I'm glad to see he made his first three, and as a Sun Devil, he does it in practice. He just hasn't really connected yet in the games. But he just, besides the points, I mean, I loved how he was going after the glass and rebounding for us, and then just his normal defense was kind of what I'm used to seeing from him from that end of the floor.
Do you feel like that effort kind of lifted up the team early on when some of the other guys were struggling to kind of keep that game close and get you guys back in it?
I mean, he was a positive certainly. I thought Amir Ali came in and did some good things too. He was a part of the turnover situation I was talking about. We can't, especially out of a timeout, turn the ball over in the second half. But other than that, that was a positive for sure. We've got to do better at start halves. We can't got a 10-point lead. You want to try and get it to 16 or 18 by the first media. Instead, it was 2 or 4 or whatever it was at the first media. So got to do better at starting the second half.
So speaking of Amir, speaking of Jason, just the production he given from the bench in the last couple of games, how pleased are you with that aspect?
He looks like he's got that look, and he's really confident playing the way I expect him to play, why we brought him here, and why, people think he's, an NBA prospect. That's what he looks like. He's, just his shot, how effortless it is for him to make. And I liked his rebounding. He had 8 defensive rebounds, which was huge for us. We told our guards they got to rebound because they cut and they like to sneak in there, their perimeter, and get those rebounds, and also a lot of long rebounds because they were going to take a lot of threes tonight. So I'm glad Joe, because people identify him as this kind of lethal scorer, and it's good that he's branching out and doing some other things we need him to do.
You mentioned Amir already. For him to lead the press at points tonight, what's your level of
I'm
trust?
sorry, could you repeat that?
You mentioned Amir already a little bit. With him leading the press at points tonight, what's your level of trust in him overall?
Did you say the press? Oh yeah, on the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's very active, and he's got good wingspan, moves well, so that's a good situation for him to be in. And he came in and gave us positive minutes, so that was a really good night for him.
Coach, 26 free throw attempts compared to their 5, including a large rebound differential. How big was it to dominate in the paint like you guys did?
Well, that's what part. If they're going to run around and we have to chase them around, and they're going to most likely look to try and find break down to shoot a three. That's why the differential is what it is. They played a lot of small lineups too, so we tried to make a concerted effort to go inside and attack the paint. That was one of our points of emphasis. Guards, let's hit the paint off the dribble. Let's look to kick out, and let's get our guys touches, JQ and Bashir and. Sean, this wasn't the greatest game for him, and I mentioned that after, just with their size and having to chase shooters around. But there'll be, a lot of good nights where he'll help us too.
What specifically about Josan's shot profile and the way he finds his spots? What impresses you about that?
It's just he's a very pure shooter, and he could shoot. He got a quick release, and he gets to his spots in the mid-range, and he could raise up, and closeouts don't mean anything to him. You know, maybe a JQ closeout would mean something, but there aren't many guys that he's going to be going up against that could close out. And that kid guarding him did a good job. He really is a little warrior. He really battled and tried to take the ball from Joe and not let him get touches. So they understood his impact on us just based on what he did the other night, you know, against GCU.
Coach, 4 straight games of at least 80 points or more. What do you feel like has been the most consistent offensive trait with your team through the last?
Well, I think it's balanced. We had 4 guys in doubles tonight, which is great to see. Shot distribution is pretty good. Our percentage of 3-point shots relative to our 2-point shots is a pretty good ratio right now. We were 9 of 22 from the 3. We were, 27 of 54 overall. So we were able to. We scored 30 points in the paint. We got to the free throw line. So we're kind of doing it in different ways. So we're not just like one-dimensional in how we're scoring. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.